It's been a really long time since I talked about the Chicago Sky, like way too long, and the WNBA in general. This is mostly going to be about the Chicago Sky, though. I only really did one video on my channel, and it was about explaining how I became a fan. So if you haven't watched that video, you should do it because it goes over like how I became a fan. So I haven't even talked about last year's free agency. Like, how insane was it that we got Candace Parker? I was so excited about it. I'm not sure I've ever felt this excited about free agency. Like, I follow the NBA as well. I'm a Dallas Mavericks fan there. Don't think anything really excited me as much as the Sky. Well, in free agency, I should say. Don't think anything really excited me as much as the Sky getting Candace Parker. It was insane. Like, I couldn't believe it. Like, I knew there were some rumors that she was considering going home to Chicago. Or I know people from Chicago don't like when you say that because she's not from Chicago. She's from the Chicago area, though. Uh, but yeah, it was crazy when it happened. I couldn't believe it, and then I felt like Chicago Sky might become champions, but I wasn't gonna put all my hopes into a basket. I was hopeful though, and I felt like conference finals or finals would be possible. So I with the NBA with the Dallas Mavericks, I never experienced a second round of the playoffs. I was a fan of them since 2013, and they've never gone through the second round. And I haven't been a Sky fan for that long. I think, yeah, my first season was 2018 or 19, something like that. Let's see. It was this year was my third. So 2019, 2019 was my first season I really watched. So that's not a long time ago. But I did follow them a while ago. I talked about that in my other video, but like I enjoyed watching highlights of Elena Deladon and then Stephanie Dawson and then just team highlights in general. And I followed them. I considered myself a fan, but I didn't really know how I should be able to watch it, and I didn't know if it was going to be fun. A lot of people claimed that it wasn't going to be fun. That it's boring basketball, and that could not be further from the truth. So I feel really stupid for buying into that narrative at first. But also, I didn't know WNBA League Pass really existed, and I also didn't know it was dirt cheap. Like, I thought it would be just like super expensive, but it's like €10 a year. So I just tried it in 2019, and I loved it. I absolutely loved watching the Sky, and um you know Steph Dawson is my favorite player, so she was on the team, and that made it more enjoyable for me. Before that, it was Elena Deladon, but they got traded for each other, and that worked out for me. Uh, anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself because I was almost going to get into this year's free agency, but after we signed Candace Parker, I felt like a championship would be possible, and then this guy started off. They started with I think they started 2-0, and then they went 2-7. They had a 7 game losing streak, and the season is not that long, of course. So that was sort of worrisome. I knew that they would get back to the playoffs and get a decently high seed maybe, and I knew regular season wouldn't matter for a team like this. And then they later on, when Candace was more healthy, they went 7-0. So that was really promising, and I felt like I was justified into still believing they could get back. And I saw a lot of people, they were afraid that this team wasn't going to get far. I figured they would get back on a winning streak and that the record wouldn't matter as much. But then they went into the playoffs, and I was honestly not even sure they could beat the Dallas Wings. They were the sixth seed and had to go up against the Dallas Wings, who were the seventh seed, I believe. And there was just 0.500, so it was like, are they going to beat the Wings? But then they started off great. The Wings came back, and then the Sky got into a run at the end and just won. And it was like clear that the Sky were a veteran team who knew what they were doing and would no way lose to the Wings, even in a single elimination game. Then in round two, it was a really hard Minnesota Lynx team, and they just beat them as well. And then I was like, oh wow, I think this team has found their identity in the playoffs. And that was pretty funny that it took them until the playoffs. And then, of course, the conference finals against the Connecticut Sun, the Connecticut Sun were the one seed, and they were super good. Their defense was amazing, and I was confident that the Sky were going to be good enough to make them get a run for their money, but I wasn't sure if they could beat the Sun. But I mean, if I had to choose, I don't know. I guess I felt it would go to Game Five either way, and then the Sky even beat them in four, right? Yeah, it's been a while, but yeah. And then the finals against the Phoenix Mercury, I felt like the Sky would win that easily because the Mercury they barely won the second round, they barely won the conference finals, and they were just not as good as the Connecticut Sun. And well, they beat them also in four, I believe. Yeah, yeah, is that right? Both the series in 4 games, I guess so. And it was amazing. Like I said before, I've never seen a second round uh from also from the Sky. Like even when I watched highlights, I'm pretty sure they weren't getting far pretty often. I guess one time they got past the second round and pretty far when I was watching highlights. Because I think that was maybe like since 2015 or 16 that I was watching highlights for a while. But then, yeah, I started to really be a big fan in 2019. And yeah, so it was already amazing to see them get to the conference finals, and then they won the championship, and it was amazing. And I remember that it was pretty frustrating that the the broadcast ended pretty quickly. Like there was an interview with Candace and with Kalia, and it was really cool. Um, and then it just ended, and I was just like, I felt kind of empty because I was supposed to be really happy, but then I was just by myself and just staring at a screen that said broadcast is over, on League Pass at least. I wish there was like a um, official live stream from the Sky, maybe where they like were talking to each other about it. But they should celebrate, so that's not very realistic. But maybe like an ESPN post game show or something, and maybe just they should have broadcasted that on League Pass if it did exist. And then the same thing happened with the parade. Like it was just like an hour and it went by so quick. It was super fun. And then it was just over. And I was like, okay, I'm just going to be here by myself again then. Because, you feel connected to these players. You feel happy with them, but it's not the same. Like they fought for it and played for it and then they can celebrate together. And it really kicks in that you're just a fan when they win the championship. I realized that because um, living through upsets and losses, that's pretty similar type of feeling. And just regular seasonal wins, you can relate to that a little bit. It's just like, oh, cool, this is fun. I feel happy. And when they lose, it's like, this sucks, and I'm gonna feel this for a while. And you want to be alone. And I mean, I'm not that intense about it, but you get what I mean. But when they win a championship, it's just like, oh, I'm not very much part of this at all. Like that was a weird feeling. I didn't expect that. And it's all also frustrating that like my family and friends, they don't really understand. Well, they don't really understand basketball to begin with. I live in the Netherlands, and basketball is not very popular, which is, in my opinion, a cool thing because I can just watch it by myself and don't have to have conversations with casuals. Not that I'm like a basketball expert. I don't know that much, especially about plays or whatever. I just enjoy watching it a lot, and I don't like having discussions about it. That's also why I like making videos about it. Because I can just talk about it uninterrupted. Don't have to have discussions or anything. But yeah, it's frustrating that I can't share like championships of my favorite teams with family or friends. Uh, with the NBA a little bit, but with the WNBA they understand that even less. Um, so yeah, How amazing, by the way, was Kalia Copper. Like, I didn't expect her. I'm so surprised. I'm pretty sure she didn't win Most Improved Player, which is ridiculous. She came off the bench with sort of like a limited role, and then she became Finals MVP. Okay, I guess the playoffs don't count, but she started and she was an All Star this year. Like, it's so weird that she was not most improved player in my opinion. And yeah, how cool was it that she was Finals MVP? She was clearly the best player in the playoffs. I would say she wouldn't have been this great without Candice Parker. You know, she really mentored her, and I think Candice Parker might be the most valuable player from the playoffs and the finals. But statistically, it was definitely Kalia, and with either way, without Candice or Kalia, we wouldn't have won the championship. So either way, it doesn't matter. I'm so proud of the team and of Kalia, and it's so cool. And she got re-signed this offseason. That's all I really wanted from the offseason. You know, so my favorite player is Stephanie Dolson, right? And they didn't re-sign her, and I was worried about that for the last couple of seasons because she kept resigning with 1 year, I'm pretty sure. So that was pretty nerve wracking for me. And then they actually didn't resign her, and that was really frustrating for me. But at the same time, it felt at the time that like money was maybe there because Sloot and Ali would have gotten a lot of money, and Cleo got paid already. Then they let go of Diamond, and that was, in my opinion, that was the right move. I know a lot of people were upset by it, and I like Diamond a lot, and she has the potential to be like the face of the league. Honestly, she's so good. But there's no really room for that on this Sky team. Like, everybody has their role on the Sky team, and they're sort of vets. And Diamond came off the bench, and she didn't do well at all. She needs the ball in her hands. She needs to go coast to coast. She needs to start. She needs to be the face of a team. If she isn't that, then I don't think her role is really here on the Sky. And I don't mean that in a bad way at all. And the ironic thing is she went to the Phoenix Mercury, and it's like, isn't that the same situation there? But I guess she's gonna get the ball a lot more and start there. I guess that's the situation. Either way, that saves a lot of money to not re-sign her, so that helps. But then Steph announced that she went to the New York Liberty, and I I understood it. She went home, which is pretty cool for her. I'm really happy for her, and honestly, I'm excited to just watch her games separately then. And I'm a Sky fan first. I wasn't sure if I was. I felt like maybe I'm just gonna be like an Elena Deladon and Steph Dolson fan, but it's not the same. I really like watching a team, and I enjoy the Sky. I enjoy the fans a lot. They're really nice and passionate. People from Chicago, they seem really nice and friendly and welcoming. So I'm happy with the team. And then they signed Emma Mason, which is super cool because she's from Belgium, and she's from the Dutch speaking parts of Belgium, which I speak Dutch as well, of course. And that was pretty amazing. So I can't complain really. I might, if you would ask me, would I rather keep Steph Dolson or get Emma Mason? I might actually choose for Emma Mason. So I really can't complain. And she's an amazing shooter and really good rebounder as far as I know, and just really good shooter. And I think she's gonna fit well with Candace. And really, it all seems to be because we got Ann Wouters as an assistant coach, who's also from Belgium. This really seems like she recruited Emma, and really early on, she was interviewed by a Belgian TV show, and they asked her about Emma Meiseman, and she kind of slipped that it was highly likely. And I'm not sure if she was supposed to be allowed to say that, but at the same time, she figured like it's just Belgian TV who's going to see this. But then WNBA fans saw it anyway, and yeah, it was pretty funny that it was already pretty sort of confirmed from then on. But then still, when they announced it, I was almost as excited as with Candace Parker. It was insane to read. Like, it was a championship, and they got even better. But then for a while we didn't know if Sloot and Ali was going were gonna come back to the sky, and then eventually they came back, thankfully, on 1 year deals both. I'm pretty sure, and it was it was a lot of money, but they could have gotten paid way more. So it was nerve wracking for a while, and it was risky that they went with MMA Simon, if you ask me. But it was super worth it. And then they traded Diamond for, I forgot to say that, for Julie Allemand, which is crazy because she is a starting point guard in this league. In my opinion, she is really really good, and now we have her off the bench. It's so good. It's so good. Like, I'm so excited. They're totally my title favorites. Like, they could repeat. I'm like, anything could happen. They could easily not win it, but like, they're my favorites for now. The Phoenix Mercury are pretty good, of course, too. The Seattle Storm are always good. The Mystics should be good if Elena Deladon gets back to health. The New York Liberty, maybe they could. Nah, probably not. I guess I'm just way too high on Steph Dawson. That's a bit biased, but they seem exciting. Um, the Lynx are pretty good. Yeah, there's options for there's just competition. Let's put it like that. Like, a lot of teams could win this year, but the Sky are my title favorite. So yeah, what an exciting last 2 years! Like, it's so exciting. And the frustrating part for me is I was watching the EuroLeague a little bit pretty seriously, sort of, the last couple of years, because I felt like, WNBA players play there, so the competition is high, and I want more women's basketball, but it's not the same, to be honest. And it's ironic because I live in Europe, but American leagues, I think a lot of people don't know that American leagues are really fair and balanced because of the cap space system. Teams aren't allowed to go over budget, and in some leagues, if they do go over budget, then they pay heavy taxes. Um, in Europe, it's just there's no limit. You can spend as much as you want. Rich teams just win. You see that with that Russian team, Ekaterinburg, and they just get a lot of all stars, and they just win because of money. And I'm kind of done with the EuroLeague because of that. Honestly, like, it's frustrating. I just want the WNBA seasons to be longer, especially because I've been saving up money to go travel to the United States. I want to go to Chicago to catch a Sky game, and I would also love to watch then a Bulls game. But that's impossible. They almost never play at the same time. It's really frustrating. The seasons should really be longer. At first, I was watching the WNBA to fill up my basketball withdrawal from the NBA. Like, I love that it didn't interfere with each other very much. That it was just a full season of men's basketball and then a short summer season of women's basketball. But now I realize, like, but then these players have to play in Europe, and I feel like I have to watch it. I sort of force myself, and then I don't enjoy it as much. I just wish the WNBA seasons were longer. American basketball is so much fun. Like, you have no idea how much it compares. Like, well, I would say that the nationals are really fun, like the World Cups and stuff. Those are super fun. But just EuroLeague, I don't know. I watch Avenida from Spain, from Salamanca. I watch that team often because I like the players, I like the culture, and there's a Dutch player on there. But I'm getting a bit burnt out from that as well. I just miss the WNBA. The WNBA is much more fun. So I hope the league grows. It's already growing a bit. I should talk about that. Like, the single eliminations have been removed, and they've been replaced with full 3 and 5 game series. I'm pretty sure the first 2 rounds have 3 game series now. And I feel like that's because of the Sky. Like, the Sky weren't supposed to beat teams as a 6th seed. So that's pretty funny. Like, I don't think they would have had that confidence going into a series for 3 games. So that's pretty funny. I feel like they broke the rules. I'm a bit upset because I love single elimination. Like, so much fun to me. The stakes are never higher than when it's single elimination. Like you gotta play well in one game, and if you don't, then you lose. And I don't have the patience to sit through like entire 3 to 5 game series when it's not my favorite team. I love watching every single elimination game from other teams. Like with the Sky, it's going to be exciting. Like they're going to have 3 to 5 games every series. That's going to be exciting for me. That's a lot more playoff games for me as a Sky fan. But single eliminations, I was hooked on them. It really sold me to watching the WBA. It was the most fun aspect of them. But arenas were sold out, so you gotta do more games. It's like financially a great idea to do it. You can't not do it, and the league is growing, so you should put more games in there. And well, hopefully, yeah. But then I hope that the regular season gets longer too. Like it's too short. I hope it grows soon. And probably what they need for that is expansion, and I get really excited about that as well. I hope they expand to Canada. That would be cool. Like I always enjoy the fact that the men's NBA have the Raptors, who are not even from the United States. That's a super cool idea. And Oakland seems cool as well because they don't have the Golden State Warriors in Oakland anymore. That they moved to San Francisco. So I guess like a WNBA team in Toronto or Oakland would be really cool. Yeah. So I think I've talked about everything. I'm just still super. I can't wait for the ring ceremony, and it's unfortunate for me that Steph won't be there when the actual ring ceremony from the Sky happens. But they'll see the New York Liberty soon enough, and then she'll get her ring, of course. So yeah, it should be exciting. Hopefully another championship this year. It could very well be possible. I was honestly fully expecting to just linger on this championship. That they would not re-sign their players. I was almost worried that they wouldn't sign the Vanderquicks again, and that we would linger on this championship for like years to come. But it seems like they could easily repeat, or at least like get another championship in the coming years, maybe. So it's so exciting. I haven't been this excited for basketball in like a long time. So yeah, peace out.